Welcome back into Karmic Justice TV, everyone. Welcome into the courtroom. Today, coming back on the stand is none other than Little Mermaid herself, Halle Bailey, and her baby father, rapper DDG, and YouTube streamer. This is very important because, and kind of very troubling. I will show you guys some evidence that has been presented by the collective, some videos from TikTok explaining that Halle could be unstable and explaining that this could be all something to get DDG to comply with Roc Nation because he refused a record deal to sign with Jay-Z. There's a lot of evidence that the collective soul body has presented to the courts today, but I did get a message while I was sleeping, a message sent into the courts around 4 a.m. from Halle Bailey, and it is coming from her Akashic soul. And I think that she's ready to talk. To be honest with you, DDG's energy is not here right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to call up Halle Bailey to the stand right now. And Halle, let me go ahead and make sure she's connected here into the energy field. And we'll go ahead and get you sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, Halle. I do. Thank you. There's a divine connection being made right now in this moment with Halle Bailey, and it appears that this could be Halle Bailey's higher self. And she makes a point to exaggerate that breath. And I also did hear, guys, this is going to be interesting. I heard someone say mama or mother. It appears to be Halo, but he appears to be older. He appears to be 19. So what we have here is a future timeline. And so Halle is speaking from a future point of time, another timeline in the future. And so I want to go ahead and ground into that so we can get a very precise message today. There's two sides to every story. So Halle, I'm allowing you to speak through me. Just bringing my awareness to the face. So let's allow the message to build. It's not the face, but the mouth, the heart, and the soul. These are all parts of me that I was denied full access of. I didn't realize that until I had Halo, that I was denied full access, and that every day more of my rights, civil rights, were being slowly taken away from me. There's a part of a mother that will always thrive for greatness in spite of what she goes through. And this is the part that I speak from here today, from the future, the higher timeline, the higher version of myself. The one where I always knew there would be a positive outcome for me and my son, for my yoke, for my heart, for my blood. But I had no idea on what I would have to go through, to suffer through in order to get here. She's even saying to meddle through. So it appears that she's talking about meddling in, you know, how they say meddling in other people's business, but she had no idea that she would have to meddle, I think, into DDG's text messages and streams. It appears that she meddled in some of his streams. I don't know how she did that, but to get the truth, because the truth he would never speak because he was such of a playboy, but not in that way, a playboy, meaning he laughed a lot, he played around a lot. This is what made me crazy, because I could never get truth. I could never get a simple answer. Do you want eggs today? Oh, well, I'm going to go down the road and then, I got to the stream and then, and like all of these things. So what she's saying is that she would ask Daryl, I would ask Daryl very specific questions and he would give me 5 to 10 answers. Nothing was ever like concrete. And I feel as if he did that in a way to make me go crazy. She brings my awareness now to a pit in her stomach, to a feeling in her stomach that when I was in too deep, this is what I felt. I knew it. My body felt it. My body was breaking down because of the malfunction of the relationship. And this is when I realized this relationship was never supposed to work. It was always supposed to bring me to this very feeling that I am feeling in this moment and to bring me down. It's like a corset that when someone wants your waist to be picture perfect, they will continue to apply pressure by pulling the corset tighter and tighter until you reach the perfect size. This is what this relationship is. And I know a lot of people think that I am a setup to bring DDG into the arms of the Illuminati or to the arms of secret societies, but trust and believe that DDG is doing a good job on his own. He doesn't need me for that. This was always his path because he likes money and success and notoriety more than he loves me and his son and what we were building together. What we were building together took a level of trust. It took a level of him to relinquish his solo plan so that we could have a collective plan. And he was not willing to do that. And therefore, I was not willing to stay in that vibration. But in hindsight, it was only to bring me and lower me into this state. And now, this is now me speaking. I'm going to go into what Halle told me in the wee hours of the morning around 4 a.m. She said the words to me, time capsule. So I looked up the word time capsule, and what it says is, it says many time capsules today contain only, oh, let me read this one instead. Time capsule, a container holding historical records or objects representative of current culture that is placed for preservation until discovery by some future age. And this is what she mentioned, the time capsule. And when she says that, it's like the relationship was like pulling the corset tighter and tighter until you reach a perfect, waist size. This is what she means by time capsule. She was becoming a container. And I think I spoke about this before, how blue ivy also is a container. And what this means is either you come into the world empty, or through the process of, I'm hearing delegation, soul's delegation, people, family, love partners, things coming in and out of your life, slowly emptying out the container, right? Because the evil one is very masterful. These people will chase you down through the dimensions of time and literally see themselves as love partners, as family, as friends, as co-workers, so that they can get their get back from a past life, which this is. They've had a karmic relationship. Now, in my first video, I said at least 3 past lives. So Spirit is saying 4 past lives. They've been doing this. Daryl and herself, yeah, Daryl and myself has been doing this. So she's chiming back in. So it appears that through this process, Daryl, even though it appears that she's priming him to, be given up to this system, right? The Illuminati system, but it appears that this is what he came in here to do, is to also prime her. So the karmic relationship, these two are mirroring each other. And it's interesting. It's like he came down here, she came down here. I'm viewing her from her higher timeline is showing up right here on the right side of me here. And then it's like a inverted triangle that these two are making. Because I see DDG, I see Halle here in the present moment, DDG from another timeline or a past life coming down here from the 4th lifetime, coming here. And then now I'm speaking to Halle's higher self here, which is her future self here. And then at some point there will be a resolution where it completes the triangle. This is an inversion. Their relationship is inverted, right? Because of past life karmic residue, right? They are inverted. So when we think about the secret societies of the world and all of that, we think about inversion, right? They are all inverted. The signs that they do are inverted. The certain rituals and things that they do are an inversion, right? And so these two are actually a vibrational match to be taken advantage of. So what I want as I want the courts to let you guys know, both Halle and DDG, even though DDG's energy is not exactly here yet, the courts here at Karmic Justice TV has to let you two know to go back inside and heal. And I think I mentioned this in the first court hearing. It's so important because your traumas are now being used in this moment through very high, powerful people. And some might say the Beyonce and Jay-Z, right? I mean, Clyde Davis is involved, and, Diddy, and all these high-powered people are using the trauma from your past soul contracts, which have not yet been fulfilled, because we keep getting to this point where everyone's trying to one up each other. Oh, you did this to me in this past life. Now I'm going to chase you down here and I'm going to do it to you this time so that you can see how I feel, which I understand that sentiment, because these are how our souls take turns to learn the role. But you guys aren't learning. Now this is like what, the fifth lifetime, and you guys aren't learning. You have to learn in this lifetime. So both of you guys are being used. So in this moment, Halle is a container. She's becoming a container. DDG's past karmic contract provided the contract and the right atmosphere and the ingredients for Halle to be going through what she is going through. Now, Halle doesn't know this on a mundane level, but her higher self or future self now comes to understand this sentiment. So she is being stripped of power and rights to become a container. Container, a time capsule, container holding historical records or objects representing current culture, and that is placed for preservation. This is also why Halle was chosen to be the Little Mermaid, is because they had to use the current. What was current, right? Remember, we don't swim against mother's current, right? What was current is more melanation, more melanated people. What is current, as we know, we're going back into the rise of the divine nine, the divine feminine, right? The melanated womb, some might say, right? And so we're going back into that. So what they've done is they've wanted to capture this period in time, because this is also how they keep control of the collective energy, right? And so they put a Black woman in that role. She's cute as a button, put her in that role, but it's only because she is now a empty container. She's been emptied out enough, or that corset has been squeezed enough to get to the perfect size. And now what they're doing is just dumping things in the container so that they can keep a time capsule. This is what Halle is being used for, a time capsule. Okay. And so I want to make that clear. And I hope that this helps you, Halle, because to be honest, I don't think that Halle had the fuel awareness of thought to articulate this. She could give me the word time capsule, but I wanted to bring that home for you today, Halle, so that you could start to make some better choices and to gain sovereignty back. You have to gain sovereignty back. And unfortunately, that means leaving Beyonce's label and the mentorship you guys had. And Jay-Z, it's really turning off. And I'm not sure, once you're wrapped up with these people, and they've been wrapped up with these people since since their inception, right? And so think about this. Holly's sister Chloe played Beyonce's daughter in, I think, the movie Fighting Temptation when she was like 3 or 4. And so I think Halle knew Beyonce when she was like 2 years old. So these girls were around this already. So they came in here with this karmic contract, is what I am saying. And it is playing out exactly as it is supposed to. A lot of these people now, guys, in the next generation of Hollywood are containers. They are actually now just time capsules, and Blue Ivy is another one that I spoke about in another video. But this is what they are using Halle for. Okay. And so let's see if there's anything else that she wants to say. What do you want to say about Daryl, about the situation? She really does bring up like a bouquet of yellow roses. And I think that this simulates, and I think that's an important word, Mother's Day. Simulate. So guys, where Halle is speaking to me from, she's not here. She's simulating. This is, I honestly, this has not truly happened before, I don't think, or maybe just it's rare. But she's simulating the flowers as if she's not here. So as if I'm not just pulling energy or seeing images of something that's happened. No, she is simulating. So this time capsule, whatever they have her in, she's being heavily controlled, where, you know, there's kind of a wall between her organic energy. Even though I feel her energy signature, but she can't give me organic messages. You see what I'm saying? I can get to her energy signature because I am, you know, because I'm conscious and psychic. She can't get to me because of the tightening of the strings of the corset. It doesn't allow her the mobility of, remember what she said at first, that was taken from her mouth, her heart, and her soul. She's losing that capability the more she does movies. I don't think that Halle should have done movies, because it felt as if the music is one thing, but the movies is literally a vehicle that they are using to, as a time capsule. This has something to do with the future, that or to carry out the Hollywood, you know, I'm going to call it a Hollywood gene. It appears that, yes, there's a lot of talent that we carry, but there's also the hidden secret inside of the time capsule. So a time capsule, right, you don't open into the future. So it appears that this is what they're using Halle's container for, her body. And there's other people's bodies that are being used as containers to carry the dark residue, the dark secrets from the celebrity world. And Diddy's dark deeds are inside of this container too. So Halle has a lot of dark essence inside of her container, her body. So when Halle flips out and says, hey, I don't feel like myself, or I want to hurt myself, it appears that this could be some of the workings of the time capsule just doing its thing. She's not only a container for the, you know, the Little Mermaid and for little Black girls to see themselves as, you know, as a princess, but she's also a container for the dark things too of Hollywood. It's what I am saying in this moment. And so I want you to understand that as well, Halle. And so she has to simulate those flowers because she can't organically send me back the messages, right? And so thank you for simulating those flowers for me. And she brings me to Mother's Day. She wants to talk about Mother's Day. And she does want to talk about Lala too. I think there's something that happened on Mother's Day or around Mother's Day, or when she was, rather this, when I was in talks to Daryl about Mother's Day, he brought up something about Lala, and this triggered me. And this is what he's always done. He has a way of getting me beside myself, getting me to my knees, to a state of desperation and distraught. And I lose hope in his arms. It's a very passionate relationship, but also very, toxic is not the word. This is a karmic relationship. And the way that Daryl treats her, he purposefully brings up women a lot. He will joke a lot, like those, like she asked him a yes or no, he will give her 5 to 10 different answers. This is the same thing when she asked him straightforward about cheating or about Lala or about these other women. He will play into it like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, but he won't do it that way. He will just say everything under the sun except for yes or no, except for look me straight in the eye. And this is infuriating because, you know, to a woman, if you're not going to just say no, then that means yes, you know, then that means you did it. And so could you imagine? And she doesn't see herself. She's not like, I'm the little mermaid, you should treat me better. No, that's not what she's saying. She's coming from she's giving me the age of 19, right? She's coming from that kind of mindset, this kind of your first major love, where, and she may or may not been 19, but I just get the innocence of herself at 19. This is the stamp that was created in the Akashic records. So at this age, and even though Daryl's not my first boyfriend, it's my first true passionate relationship, like diehard passionate relationship. And I was not expecting all of what it was. I did not realize that it would be so hard to cope, you know, within the triggers. And she calls it like a walls. It feels as if like you're in a house, right? A house. I don't want to say house of horrors, but you're in a house and you don't know if you open up one door, then what's going to pop out. So it felt like very much she's encaged here within the mind. So a lot of Holly's relationship, and this is very interesting, a lot of the relationship with her and Daryl is it's like in her mind, right? So this does bring a little bit of credence to some of the things that he said, that she's not stable mentally. Well, it doesn't mean that, but what it is the thing about it is when you don't have a reference point, you've never been in a relationship this way, and then you don't get a straight answer from your partner. All you have is your thoughts, right? So this kind of mental prison that she, and it's interesting, she's not like blaming him. She's just explaining. But this, I'm telling you guys from, you know, what I'm seeing. It's a mental prison that she was put in when you don't get a straight answer, when you're off to vacation with women, when you'd rather be with women than actually a family man. And to be honest, this is something that he has been very vocal, that he said that he wanted and that he's always wanted, even prior to Halle. But when he got it, he was, it, it was just, she was very displeased because it was such a sacrifice on her end, and she didn't feel as if the sacrifice was on his end as well. And so this like this ride or die partnership that she thought she was going to have, you know, it crumbled very quickly. And with the kind of vague answers and things, kept her in a mental prison. She was locked away inside of the mind. And I have been there, when all you have is the last conversation, which there was no resolution. So all you have is to play like a little detective. What did he mean by that, or this, or this, or that? It was never straightforward. So it's like on a higher level, Daryl understood what he was doing. Possibly even on this level, he understood, but I don't think he knows the magnitude of all of the lifetimes of that they are carrying down this karmic residue. And so when he plays those games in this natural field, it's magnified 10 times because of the soul relationship, because everything just keeps snowballing from one lifetime to the next to the next. And so by the time we've gotten down to this lifetime, all of those things are in her head and even in her subconscious, that she's not even aware of a lot of these things. And so that's why I was getting so much going on in the head. This was a relationship that Halle lived in her head. And I say this respectfully because it's not to demean anyone, but because you don't have the partner is not giving you answers. The only thing you're left with is their words and their energy to kind of figure it out on your own. So in that regards, you can be in the relationship by yourself. This has happened to so many women. And so thank you for saying that today, Halle, even though how people may perceive it, but thank you for clearing that, because I think it's important for a lot of women to know that you should not have to live in the relationship in your head or on your own. That is very much a partnership, right? and that we should be treated as such, being respected enough to receive a yes or no answer, right? And so thank you very much for that. All right. I'm going to get back to the flowers and Lala. See, the thing about it is those two are tied together. The flowers, the Mother Day flowers, and Lala are very much tied together. So this is a separate message that I got. I'm going to bring this up to you now, Holly, because you're now mentioning it. So this whole relationship with Lala and DDG, and how Lala has gotten online to clear the air and saying that she was not involved with Daryl. Well, this is not true, because I channeled that I did see very loving eye glances with Daryl and Lala. I saw cuddling, kissing, and not the type of kissing where it's just like you're face to face and you're kissing, although that did happen as well. But more so, it's they're living inside of an implied relationship, because if they're in a room with 20 people, their energy gravitates towards each other, right? Or if they're just in a space together, their energy gravitates towards the parts of their body parts touching. They're in each other's energy field. So even if he didn't sleep with Lala, they've been cheating energetically. These two are enmeshed. Lala and DDG and Daryl are enmeshed energetically and spiritually. And you can't do anything about that. It's not really necessarily physically. It feels as if Lala was a jump off from like a past life. It's given very much that energy. And I'm not here to say anything bad about her, but these two are enmeshed. This is quantum entanglement, right? But what I'm seeing is this is also Lala has some get back from a past life. This is a very, very karmic relationship, triangle, inversion of love. They are living an inversion of love. So they are enmeshed together energetically, right? And so Holly picked up on that energetically. And so with Daryl not giving her straight answers, with Holly has to play, the boyfriend and the girlfriend in her head, then, and especially when they're away and she's working, that's why she's also living the relationship in her head, because she's away a lot as well, and he's away a lot. So now with the Lala's energy being enmeshed and entangled within their relationship, it is a form of cheating. And that is why that was coming up. But these two have been very cuddly. I see them laying on couches together. I see, him speaking, softly into her ear. I see, nibbles on the neck, a biting on the ear, little play things like that. And maybe people play with their friends that way. I don't know, but I don't do that. But these are, this is flirting. It's flirting, and it's being in a relationship energetically without having a intimate, physical relationship. This is what they had. And so, Holly, you're not crazy in that regards. And that's another thing. He would try to make her feel crazy. And I think even Lala at one point gaslit her, saying that this didn't happen, that they had a conversation, this never happened years ago. But see, this did happen because it's an emotional relationship. It's an energetic entanglement with someone else. Like, how are me and you, Daryl, this is what Holly is saying, can have a relationship if someone else is the third party? And even if they are far away, and I'm here in New York, they're still somewhat here affecting our relationship. That was very heartbreaking too. And it broke a lot of trust. There was a lot of trust that was broken from all of the cheating spells that Daryl had. Daryl is a fun-loving guy, but when he cheats, how he hides it, he has to gaslight you in order to hide it. So in order to get himself out of trouble, he has to make you feel horrible about yourself. And he does it in a way through laughter, through laughter manipulation is what she's calling it. And that could be the worst, because you're not taken serious. Your thoughts, your emotions, how you feel, it's not taken serious. This added to the mental relationship, because it's not just you left alone with, is this person cheating, but it's left alone with the manipulation. And those manipulational tools, they cut and they dig and they don't expire. They keep penetrating and penetrating and keep pulling the strings on the corset. Right? So she, going back to the time capsule, right? So what she's saying with the Mother's Day, I couldn't even get to a happy Mother's Day ever. Never had a happy Mother's Day because of this entanglement with Lala's energy and DDG. And it ruined my, part of her motherhood. Now, she does really good with Halo. She calls it, there's a higher expression of love that I would have wanted to give my son in that time, even though I gave him more love than what, you know, she says, by the grace of God, because of the position that I am in, I gave him more love than what a lot of mothers are able to do, because I have the ability to take him to work with me and travel with me. But the thing about it is, there are all these mental things plaguing, she calls it a plague, plaguing me, where if those things weren't there, oh my goodness, like Halo would be so spoiled, like more than he already is. She shows me grabbing his cheeks and just kissing his little face and nose and little lips and everything. When you just lose yourself in someone, right? She wanted to do that. Now she's looking back. She had even more love to give, right? In hindsight, looking back from this higher timeline, right? Future timeline. And so part of her motherhood was robbed because this Lala is connected to Halle's motherhood as well. So that's maybe in another video, we'll have to source that out, because this is also, like I said, Lala has literally, it feels as if she's come through a portal, girl, into this relationship, because this is also, she has a karmic relationship with them from a past life, and she's still here. There could have been something that happened in terms of pregnancy and motherhood that happened with Lala in a past life. This could be what she calls it, has plagued her. This could be what has plagued her. And give me a moment. She just says, Lala has plagued me by stabbing or driving a knife in my back. And she just refers back to the flowers. And I don't think she's talking about this from this lifetime. This feels as if she has done this before, that they have done this before. And so her flowers were never appreciated, not truly by herself and not truly by Daryl. So the disconnection of the energy that's in between is the Lala energy. And that's very real in this moment. And it's a blockage. It's a blockage from even their healing as well. So as I thought this was going to be, some sort of secret society, reading, but it's comes down to simple matters of the heart. And this is why it's so important to clear out our karmic closet, clearing out our heart, clearing out our mind, body, soul, spirit, chakras. Everything is just so important. Is there any last things that you'd like to say, Halle? And you know that Whitney Houston gave a message too about you as well. And so this is kind of lining up with what she said in a prior session. And okay, so this is me talking, but the reason why Whitney was able to come through is because Halle and DDG are in it reminds her of the relationship that she had with Bobby. So it's kind of like a vibrational match, that energy that they're holding right now in this moment, not in past moments, but currently in this moment. Because guys, this relationship is not as bad as everyone's trying to make it seem. It got bad when it got on paper. There's a difference between going through something in real life and it now being on paper for you to relive, but relive it through the eyes of millions of people. It got even worse. So right now, they are a vibrational match for Whitney, what Whitney went through with Bobby. And so that's why Whitney was able to speak on it, right? And this is a lesson for us. If we want to speak on someone else's situation, we have to be in a vibrational match. We can't be up here and talking to someone that's down here on another frequency as if we can speak on it. We can't speak on it. So this is kind of a lesson that Spirit is giving us. You got to be on someone's level if you want to speak on it, or has been on someone's level, or has passed through what they have passed through. You can't just have not ever been through it, have no awareness about it, and speak on it, right? And so I think that Halle wants the courts to let the collective know that, and also maybe Whitney too, that be careful what you are speaking on, because this is a young woman, this is a young man, regardless if you like them or hate them, they are a soul, and they have purpose here from God. So when you want to speak on it, if you share the same vibration, if you've been through it, if you've walked a day in their shoes, then what you have to say should be useful, because you have now learned from your own experience. So if you do not have that frequency residue, please do not speak on our situation. And this is Whitney Houston coming through. And she's kind of, it feels as if she's a guardian for Halle, in a way, right? Not like a strong guardian, but she's standing up for her, in the spirit as it pertains to music, right, in Hollywood. So thank you very much, Whitney. Go ahead and allow your energy to pass. And thank you very much, Halle. Thank you for expressing yourself. And Halle, I want to let you know that you do not have to be bound and bind it down by this corset. You don't have to be their container. You can release yourself, Halle. You can release yourself. And you can do that by turning within and going back to source. Source will free you. And every time you do some healing work within yourself, you will break more and more chains. And you can break out of this karmic loop that you've been on with your baby's father, DDG. And to be honest with you, a lot of the times the healing comes from the woman's side. You doing the work will also help to free him, because in a way, he's so focused on money that there's going to be a lot of blind spots that he doesn't see. You can only hold it together for so long before you miss some of the signals, right? And then it causes an accident, right? And this is talking about in terms of him getting wrapped up in the wrong people, or him growing his platform so much that now, Hollywood wants a piece of him. In a way, it's weird. They're kind of offering, although they're bringing each other down, they've come into this lifetime with the karmic residue. In a way, they're still kind of helping to kind of shield halfway from the storm of Hollywood. They don't know that, but this is me just looking at the entire situation, because, this situation with DDG has made Halle a little less of the prototype container that they're building, right? This time capsule. And so maybe they won't store as much of the Hollywood dirt inside of her. Maybe they will find another vessel, which is a little bit more pure and open, to start to dump some of these things into, right? And maybe some of this is keeping him from deals with people that are too powerful for their own good, if you know what I mean. So I think that was very important. And I want to kind of leave this court session like this. Thank you for Halle for being present today and coming down from that future timeline, which it does feel as if you have gotten yourself free. And I am always open to help, to heal, to help people get released from these karmic contracts. And you can reach out at karmicjusticetv@gmail.com, or you can click on the link below for additional help and tools with that. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to come off of the stand today, Miss Halle Bailey. And she wants me to say Miss Halle Bailey. That's important because I think this is how people refer to her. It's last thing I'll say, when people refer to her as Miss Halle Bailey, it's a trigger that snaps her out of the world, the insular world that she's living in her head, relationship with DDG and herself. It snaps her out and she realizes, whoa, I am Miss Halle Bailey. Like, you know, like Miss Aretha Franklin, Miss Patti LaBelle, like Miss Whitney Houston, like all of the greats, how, you know, the respect that they get. It reminds her that she's that girl. And so she wants to end this court hearing today. I'm saying Miss Halle Bailey, court is adjourned. And thank you all for tuning in today and watching Karmic Justice Court TV. Be well. Be well.